Good morning. So, knocked out 5 hours yesterday. The plan is to do another 5 today. So I'm just trying to loosen up a little bit. Got my bike set up pretty aggressively, just for like the race season and to be more aero. But when you're in that position for 5 hours, it's pretty brutal on your body. So I'm just trying to roll it out, make sure that I can survive another 5 hours today without like my head falling off my neck. But I literally have to meet people in 13 minutes, and I am not kitted up. Nope, sorry, 23 minutes, and I'm not kitted up. So I probably need to stop with this and go get ready. Let's go. Oh, hey, bud. Pupper. Pupper, 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 pupper. How you doing, pupper? Look at his butt. Look at his butt. Where? I feel smoked. I feel pretty sunburnt all over my backside. And I feel very, very hungry. And apparently I'm very sweaty. So first things first, I'm gonna make a smoothie, and then I want to talk about that ride. Do a little breakdown of that ride on the old Strava.
Okay, let's dig into this. I've opened up my Strava, and I just want to kind of look at some of the ride today and just talk about it, I guess. Here we are. Church is what I named it. There was 8 of us. Let's see. Finding Tamelines and Racing Homies. Early front runner for Ride of the Year, says Carson. How exciting. Owen says nicest day of the year, which is, it very possibly could end up being. Yeah. So let's take a look. And I guess I'll preface this with like, some of what we're about to talk about is completely self-serving, and really serves no purpose. You know, like when it becomes race season, just looking at like power data doesn't win you races. You know, there's a lot more that goes into racing than looking at big power numbers. But, you know, I've been training really hard for a few years now, and it just is really satisfying and like gratifying, I guess, to have this like raw data, these numbers to look at, kind of as like, you know, confirmation that all of this energy and time and effort that I'm putting into this crazy dream is actually starting to like pay me back. And that's just really exciting. And some of what I did is really like kind of not all-time best, but like pretty dang good. And, you know, I feel like I want to share that with everybody. And, you know, this being kind of a journal of sorts, like I want to put this into that journal. So that's why we're going to do this. So with that being said, let's dig in. First thing I want to look at is, I guess, just the course map. So what we did today, we call it an EHB. We start here in Boise, we ride out up into Emmett, Idaho, E, and then we ride this canyon through to Horseshoe Bend, the HB, and then just come back in Highway 55 back down into Boise. This is a really great long day ride because there are long stretches of essentially like no stop signs, no red lights, no interruptions, just bike riding. And through the canyon specifically, yeah, that segment is just full gas. So what we're looking at, that segment, is this guy here, where you can see second overall. So I'm gonna pull that up. We actually KOM'd it today. That's funny. So Matt, that was today. Owen, that was today. Alex, me, Jeremy, Carson, Craig. So we swept the top 7 times today. Excuse me. But that segment is great for kind of, you know, the ride within the ride where, I mean, normally it's like 45 minutes just throttled. But today, we even had a headwind, but today we were straight motoring the whole way. So we had 8 guys. We were each taking mile-long pulls. We averaged 28 miles an hour for 16 miles on a group ride, and it's also, you can see the profile, like it's uphill the whole way, real gradually. I've actually never noticed that before. It's net uphill. That's wild. And we had a headwind. Yeah, so it's just one of those things where, you know, you pull off for after your mile, and then you drop back and you get back into the group. And since you're 8 wheels back, the draft is really nice, so you actually recover. But then there's just this constant build as you move your way forward, and more people pull off to where, you know, you're sitting second wheel, and the dude in front of you is just going as hard as he can, and you just know, like, dude, as soon as he pulls off, I'm gonna have to pull through, and it's just gonna be hammer time. And I think genuinely, like, each time one of us hit the front, we were just doing like, not a max effort, but like 80% of max effort for, you know, 2 to 3 minutes basically, depending on the segment. Probably closer to 2 since we're going so damn fast, which is awesome. It's just so much fun, especially after a year of no racing. This is about as close as we're gonna get until racing comes back. Actually, after Horseshoe Bend, so we ride into Horseshoe Bend, and then to get home, there is a big old climb that you got to go up, like a 1,400-foot climb that you've got to ride up and out before you drop back down into Boise. It's literally, so this is the one we're looking at now. This Summit Road, cattle guard to cattle guard, because it's Idaho. There's cows everywhere. You can see you sprint for the town sign, make the turn, come down a little hill, and then start your climb. The one that I want to look at for completely selfish and personal reasons. I am just ecstatic about the power that I was able to knock out today, and kind of the pace I was able to have, especially, you know, so this was a 21-minute 17-second effort, but it came at hour 3 of the ride, which was also hour 17 for me this week. And according to Strava, for this 21 minutes, I rode at 396 watts, which is awesome. I mean, that's by no means my best 20-minute power, but that's pretty much right at threshold, or my supposed threshold, yet my heart rate was only 162. And why that's exciting to me is because typically my threshold heart rate would be 172 beats a minute. So the fact that I was able to ride at pretty much 400 watts without, and still be 10 beats per minute below my threshold heart rate, just says to me, you know, that like everything that I've been doing is going well, it's working, and things are headed in the right direction. Doing high watts is cool, but that's really only half the story. Like, watts don't always produce, you know, pure speed. So the idea that I'd be able to jump from my steel Chinelli onto a carbon bike, immediately lose like, what, literally like almost 6 pounds, 4 pounds to be conservative, and still be doing those watts, like I know that there is a lot of speed to be had there. So when you say watts don't win races, that's kind of what they mean, but knowing that when I do get on a proper race bike, I'll have also like this big influx of speed is really positive and really exciting to me at this point, moving into a potential race season. The last thing I want to look at is basically just the weekly summary in the training log here on Strava, which when I was running, I used to keep a training log all the time, but it was by hand. Strava has really simplified that whole process for me. So you can see I did exactly 1 more minute than last week, but still haven't managed to crack that 20-hour barrier. However, I also haven't been riding on Mondays for a while. So, you know, 19.5 hours in 6 days is pretty much right on as much training as I've ever managed to do. And really, that kind of, you know, really continues to hit home kind of my philosophy of training, especially, or even back when I was running in college. I realized that the number one key to success, for really whatever, you know, your definition of success is consistency. You know, your ability to, and not only train consistently, but also recover consistently, makes the biggest difference when it comes to, you know, finding that fitness, finding that flow, and then finding success. Sports are generally hard for sure. And, you know, it's hard to be able to put in that much time and commit to that much time. You know, 20 hours in a week is significant when you also are having to work around, you know, your day job or school and, you know, like family time or spending time with your significant other, your partner. Being able to squeeze in and squeeze using that kind of generally 20 hours of training, and then, you know, even 40 hours, 80 hours of recovery time that you need to be effective within those 20 hours is very difficult. But kind of the recipe for success is actually fairly simple. Just, you know, committing to doing the training, committing doubly to doing the recovery, doing the right things, stretching, and eating as healthy as you can. If you do those things, then you're almost guaranteed to find some level of success. So the commitment is very difficult, but the general recipe to being able to find kind of your best self, your best endurance sports self is fairly straightforward, fairly simple. And that's really just in the realm of bike racing, what I've been trying to focus on the most for the last couple years. And, you know, like we're just looking at what that 20-minute power at hour 17 of the week, it's finally starting to pay off. I'm finally starting to see those dividends, and it just gets me really amped up for the racing to come. Sorry. If we get back to the training log, I'm just gonna click it over to look at our distances. Damn, nice. So a nice progression from last week to this week. Similar amounts of time. Obviously I had a little more pace in me this week. Getting real close to 400 miles ridden in 6 days. Again, that's pretty rad. And what's the elevation we're looking at? Okay, so a little more pace, but I did slightly less climbing than last week. Yeah, that's cool. I love looking at this stuff, you know. It's kind of why they call it type B fun. You get to go back and look at what you have accomplished, and you get kind of this second wave of, excuse me, kind of this second wave of satisfaction from what you've accomplished. And I don't know, like I said, it's a little self-serving, but who cares? I think we need more of that in this world. But yeah, I guess, you know, the real point of all this is really just to confirm that I will not be getting on my bike tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna, like I said, commit to our recovery, commit to our rest, and continue this streak of not riding a bike on Monday. And then we'll take it from there. The weather is going to be really nice next week, so as a whole, training next week is going to look really similar to what you're looking at here. So that being the case, if you have enjoyed this weekend of training vlogs, Definitely feel free to subscribe, please. And yeah, I guess we'll be back for more next week with the dailies. So until then, I'll just say thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck out there.